What's going on, everybody? I'm Steve. It's Vanderbond's Wildlife. Just out for a walk, man. It's a beautiful day here in Florida. About 90-ish degrees. My friend Aaron has a landscape company, does the design work and then installs the plants and you know, redoes people's yards and makes them look nice. But he called me the other day. He had seen one of our videos and saw that I had shown some work that we did with stonework and stuff like that, which is one of my specialties. Back in the day, I've been doing stonework and brickwork since, my goodness, the mid-80s. But he was like, hey, why don't you come up here to Sarasota, take a look at this patio that we've got here. So it's a little off, you know, from what we typically do, a little out of the wheelhouse, but yeah, anyways, take a look at this. A little bit of a challenge, but it was definitely fun. We're going to turn this into something you could actually use. Something that functions, something that looks good. We obviously have some stones that are mortared in place, but none of this area is functional. So we want to create a small area over here where we can have a small table and some chairs that ties into a walkway that goes to those stepping stones, and then one over to that side. So let's see what we can do with this mess. You ready, kiddo? All right, Daddy's a little out of shape, so I'm gonna need you. You've been working out? No? Her thumbs are strong. We remove all the flagstone and then we dig down about 6 inches for the entire footprint of the patio. Actually a little bit larger, so we've got a good solid base, and we compact this crushed concrete every 2 inches just to ensure it stays stable, we don't have any settling. Okay, so here's what we're looking for. You can see there's a lot of inconsistency in thicknesses and sizes, so trying to keep it natural is tough. Let's show you kind of what we're doing here. I try and find pieces that fit well together so you have natural seams, but obviously you've got to do a lot of cutting all the way around each stone on all sides. So basically what I've got to do here is set something in place and then make several cuts to create a seam that looks natural without cutting into the stone in front of it, behind it, so you don't have all these cut marks that are visible. Getting closer. Running low on our choices, so most times when you put a puzzle together, it gets easier at the end because you've only got so many pieces to choose from. Well, this is a puzzle that's constantly being built, so shapes and sizes and thicknesses and slimmer pickings takes a little longer. Getting close though. All right, all I got left is just level each individual stone, which is kind of a pain in the neck because some of them are 4 inches thick and some of them are 3/4 of an inch thick and everywhere in between. So, you know, to have longevity, you've really got to work on each individual base and get them compacted. So I have to put this stone in and out probably 10 times to 15 times before I get it perfect. So they're very inconsistent on the bottom, so they're not flat. So it's super thick here, not thick here, and you can just see the difference. So you got to compact it so that way after it sits for a while that things don't start to wiggle a little bit, because then the joints are weak and then water can get in, and that's where your problems come from. Got a lot of roof runoff there, so you get that whole peak up top that comes down between the chimney and the house, and that all runs onto this square footage, and all that square footage added on top of it, you get a ton of water. So your joints and having things stable are critical. Aaron was ripping out a tree stump this morning, and look at this, a walking catfish. I think he needs to go back to the pond. What do you think?
Yeah. Throw him in a little one.
What's that?
Throw him in a little one.
Oh, throw them in their pond?
Yeah.
Look at them, guys. They can survive out of water for a long time. Look at, he's been buried in the mud.
I had him walk up to my front door.
You've had him walk into your house?
Well, I come up to the front door. Like,
That's so funny. Do they knock at least? Gonna take him a week to get that mud off of himself. Straight to the bottom. How cool is that? Pond's like what? 150 yards away?
Yeah, but this house has all been, in the last year, this house has all been built. We've done all this stuff through here, so he's probably been buried there for at least a year or more.
Really? They can go that long?
Yeah, that's no telling.
I'll have to look that up. That's pretty wild. Do they breathe the oxygen through their mouth, or they absorb it through their skin, or?
I don't know.
It's crazy. Now I just got to put in the poly sand. But this stuff will harden. It's almost like a rubbery joint compound, we could call it. But got to make sure everything's dry, because if it's wet, this stuff will stick to the stones and it'll never come off. So this process is the process that we don't want to screw up on. This is what's going to give it its longevity, keep everything in place. All right, now we got to get all the polymers off the stone. Otherwise, as soon as we water it in, it'll get stuck. I've already gone over it once just to finish this off. Ain't it? It's gonna be blacker than that, but that's pretty dark too when it's wet, you know. It's all right. Give it a little bit more of a pop, you know. Yeah, it looks beautiful. And I'll just blow the extra water off it. And we can put our concrete edge in. Okay, well, last but not least, I just cleaned out the edges, dug it all out. Now I gotta mix up some concrete and just put a little concrete border, which is different than what we do up north. This is what they do down here. We don't have frost in Florida, obviously, like they do up north. But this will finish it up and make it rock solid. No pun intended with the rock part. All right, well, there you got it. All finito. So that's what I used to do in my first life, amongst a whole bunch of other things. As you guys know, up north we have winters, so we can't do anything when the ground is frozen. So I've had a lot of different jobs, but there you go, man. You happy with it, AA Wrong?
I think so.
All right. Well, that's what we got. There it is. Hope you guys enjoyed this video anyways. See you in the next one.
Friday.
It's Friday. We're going fishing. We are out.